So good morning, YouTube world, and welcome to my channel. I thought I'd just give a little bit of kind of an update on where I am as a channel and where I would perhaps hope to be going forward. And I think that requires perhaps a little bit of a history first. My first video on this channel was from 2009, when I made the stark realization that all the modelling videos I'd been watching on YouTube and enjoying, I could be doing myself, because I had the equipment to do it, and a Mac with editing facilities and all that sort of stuff. So I thought I'd give it a little go. And I think I'm right in saying that my first video from all those years ago, it was 16 years ago, was an inbox look at the Condor MiG-25 Foxbat, if I remember rightly. But anyway, I discovered how easy it was to do these videos, really, in a very, very basic way. So I started doing more and more of them. And over the following kind of few years, I became quite not obsessed, but I became quite enthusiastic about it. I got multiple cameras. I've had multiple camera positions at different times, all that sort of stuff going on. And this went throughout the 2010s. Built up a reasonable following. People seemed to like what I was doing, even if my viewership was never huge, but it was it was there and slowly growing. So about 2018, 2019, I just started losing enthusiasm for it. I felt that it was sucking up too much of my modelling time. Too much of that was being sucked up with worrying about what I was recording and editing to put up on YouTube, rather than enjoying the process of modelling as such. So I kind of drew away from it a bit, and I got less enthusiastic about it, and that's when projects started failing, where there'd be one or two episodes, if you like, of a project, and then it would just fade into nothing, and I'd either lose enthusiasm, the model would get finished, but there would be no more videos, or more likely, back in those days, the model would end up on the shelf of doom, and equally no more videos. And I think the final nail in the coffin of that was probably lockdown, which finally, I think, in retrospect, and I've said this for quite a couple of years at least now, lockdown had a far greater effect on my mental health than perhaps I was prepared to admit at the time. And I kind of, more or less, there were still intermittent little bits of video going up, and to do with my other hobbies, my flight simming hobby, things like that. But largely, the channel became moribund. And along with that, we obviously, Jonathan, Spencer, and myself, set up the Interesting Modelling company, streaming twice a week during lockdown initially, to try and keep the hobby going, keep people engaged, and hopefully provide a little outlet and not make people feel quite as isolated as lockdown had managed to do. And that's been that's been very successful. 5 years later, still going on. We're down to one a week now, but we have got other contributors with good friends from across the pond, like Chris Buchholz, good friends from up north, like Ian, are now regulars, are now effectively parts of the channel. In actual fact, in many ways, I've kind of stepped back a little bit. Spencer stepped very much back, and I've kind of stepped back a little bit, and my appearances have become more and more intermittent. So over all this time, something else happened, and what that something else was a few of my friends had set up their own YouTube channels, and appeared to be having success. Their viewerships quickly eclipsed anything I'd ever managed. and they were, you know, they were doing fabulous videos. And I think, you know, to be open about it, the two people I'm talking about are Jennifer Wright and Jamie Hago, both very, very good friends of mine. And they both got fantastic channels. I absolutely adore Jennifer's channel. It's one of the best modelling channels out there, and if you're not a subscriber, go and subscribe. Same with Jamie's channel, the Modelling Cafe. If you're not a subscriber, go and subscribe. They do great stuff. They're very engaging. They're just great channels. But I was watching this happen, I was watching these channels grow, and I must confess to getting a bit jealous. It's such an ugly emotion, isn't it? But yeah, I was watching their channel grow, their channels grow, and gain viewerships, and leaving aside the fact that I'd let it go, I'd let it sort of fall into disuse. I was kind of thinking, well, what's the difference? Why are they having so much success and I'm not? And first things first, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. I had a viewership which is now steadily growing again, and people liked what I did. So that ought to be enough. These channels are never going to have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. That's not what these channels do. That's not what they're about. And I realised not too long ago that really the secret is consistency and effort, and that's it. That is the entirety of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, huge amounts of talent at what you're doing don't hurt. Having said that, there are many very successful YouTube channels by modelers, spanning a huge breadth of talent and experience, and I tip my hat to them all. They're all great. You know, these people are producing stuff on the regular, putting it out there, and getting the viewers. And again, it's all down to consistency and effort. So essentially, it's down to me. What do I want to do? Do I want to grow a viewership and share my modelling with people? Yeah. At this point, I feel like I do. So I'm kind of hoping, and you might have seen over the last few weeks, to bring the channel back, and restart it, and perhaps have some slightly different values, production values, and things like that. And I'm hoping to turn back into a channel that people want to visit, and with content that people want to view. So a very big thank you, especially to Jamie and Jennifer, for, albeit unknowingly, giving me the kick up the backside to try rejuvenating my channel and bringing back, hopefully, something people want to engage with. So a little about that. So you'll have noticed that almost all of my stuff that I've been adding the last few weeks has been simply inbox reviews. There is a reason for that. You know, back in the day, as I've mentioned, I had a swathe of projects that never got completed on here. There would be one or two episodes of a project, and then the project would end up on the shelf of doom, or it would get finished, but I wouldn't film the finish because I lost interest in that side. And I think that cost me viewers, and also just became frustrating for everybody involved, because they were never seeing a project come through to, you know, a project was never getting to the finish line, which I can appreciate. I've seen it happen on many channels, and I find it intensely frustrating. So the decision I've made is that I'm filming current projects and editing them into videos. I mean, the current one I'm filming, I'm currently embargoed from sharing for reasons of it's a test shot, and it's an early test shot, perhaps not at the final. Clearly isn't at the final condition yet, and I've just been asked to keep it under my hat until I'm told I can make it public. So that's reason one. Reason two is I want to film, edit, and have a series of videos ready to go up so I can schedule them, and I know then that everything's done, and I know that when I start putting the videos up and schedule the rest of them, what people are going to get is a consistent release of videos of a project right through to the end, and that's something that I can control. So that's why in the last couple of weeks I've been putting up various inbox reviews. I do think I do think inbox reviews are useful for people. I appreciate that people are going to scud through and pick out the bits they want to view on those videos, but I think they're a way of just kind of marking time with the channel until I've got something of substance to add. Excuse me. Which hopefully won't be too far away. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, one, I'll receive permission from the owner of the company in question to go public with the build, and two, I'll finish the build and have it edited to the point where I can put these videos up, and then we can start, and then hopefully I can start building kind of a consistent backlog of videos, so stuff is waiting to be posted rather than me doing editing, posting, which is what I was doing back in the day, which led to so many failed and unfinished YouTube projects. So I hope that gives a little bit of an insight into what we're doing, or what I'm doing with this channel, and why we're getting a lot of inbox and those sorts of reviews and very little actual modelling. Hopefully, guys, the modelling is coming. It's just that the process I want to take at the moment is slightly different and being adjusted to the basically to ensure completeness. But as I say, this is all on me. This is all down to effort. I've got all the equipment here. I've got a pretty nice setup in terms of cameras and editing facilities and things like that. So yeah, bear with me, please. This is an ongoing project, and I'm hoping to rejuvenate the channel into something that will perhaps become a regular place for people to visit and enjoy what I have to share with the hobby. Now I do have a Facebook page, Drew's Modelling page. Please go and check there. If you'd like to like and subscribe to this one, that would be great. It helps to grow viewers, and you know, I'm not going to lie, you know, seeing a membership of your channel grow is the best motivator to carry on. Is feeling that what you're doing is getting out to people, and people are seeing it. So that's all I wanted to say on this Sunday morning about that. More to come, and hopefully later on. I did an inbox review yesterday, and at some point in the next few days I'm hoping to do a quick inbox review of the X Scale P3 Orion, which arrived from Andy at Antics yesterday. Thanks very much, Andy. I do have the Electra kit already, so they're obviously of a family, and we're very much on the run up to Scale Model World now at Telford early in November. I've got a couple of projects. I'm just I'm beavering away on these projects, hoping to get them finished, and that's without even talking about the latest Tamiya announcement of an F14D Tomcat in 72nd scale. Which as a builder of fast jets and a lover of the Tomcat in particular, is just exceptional news for me. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Let me know if you think there's been too many Tomcats in recent years. I don't think there has. I'll never tire of Tomcat models, so I'm okay with it. And just remember, guys, I cannot keep up with the amount of releases that are being made these days, and every kit I've ever bought has been built up here in my head. I'm never going to get them done. It doesn't stop me buying them, and it shouldn't stop you buying them either. This is this is the best of times to be in this hobby. It really is, I hope to bring you along with me a little bit on what I do with the hobby and my sort of perspective on the hobby. So if you've enjoyed this video, like I say, like and comment, let me know what you want. I'm hoping that I'll do the odd little, you know, again, consistency is key, so I'd like to do a quick weekly update like this of 5 or 10 minutes, just so people know where we are and what we're doing. It seems to work for other people, and I am nothing if not a blatant plagiarist of other people's ideas. So let me know, and thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for being here. And I hope that together we can make something of this channel, and be something, a resource that people want to use. So thanks very much, guys, and I will see you in the very near future, like days, hopefully. If not, I'll hopefully have another update for you next week. So take care and keep modelling.